In this video, we are going to talk about the single sign-on, that is SSO. We'll talk about what SSO is and what are the advantages of SSO and how we can utilize this in Okta. So single sign-on, it is an authentication process that allows a user to access multiple applications with one set of login credentials. So let's take an example. We have multiple applications in our enterprise. Let's just give it some names to them. App 1, App 2, and App 3. So user, if they require to connect to these application, they would require to provide some certain set of authentication. So in this scenario where we have multiple application in an enterprise, there we need to provide set of credentials for each and every application. That will be very cumbersome if we have like hundreds of application in our organization, whereas millions of identities in an organization. So managing this kind of setup is very cumbersome. So to remediate that, we would require a single piece of authentication, single place of authentication module, which can be utilized as the provider, which provides our identity info. The identity info provider, oftenly called as the identity provider, will provide the authentication for all of your application. So providing this set of authentication for all of the application and utilizing one single set of credential for every authentication purpose is called as single sign-on. So instead of user going to application one and providing set of authentication for each and every application, what they can do is the application can totally rely on the provider or the identity provider, which will uh, which will be which will require to provide the authentication for them. So user will log into app 1 and app 1 will redirect them. They'll say we do not handle the authentication. They will redirect the user to the identity provider. Identity provider on behalf of app 1 will authenticate the user, providing the challenges like the username and password credential forms. So once the user is authenticated, the identity provider knows who the user is. Identity provider will pass on the data back to application 1 that X user has logged in for this application. The same set of credential, if the session is already created in the provider, then in that case same set of credential can be utilized to log into app 2, similarly to app 3. So this will remediate the requirement of the users that they need to remember the passwords and the credential for all of the applications. They will need only one single set of credentials and they can log into all of the applications that are associated with the enterprise. We can take the example of Google. So Google have multiple types of application like Gmail, and then we have Google Docs, then we have Google Drive. So we do not just keep on authenticating for each and every application which we have in Google. We we authenticate in one single location. Suppose if we are going to Gmail application, Gmail will redirect the authentication to basic Google identity provider. So Google identity provider will perform the authentication on behalf of Gmail. And once the authentication is done, Google identity provider will reach out to Gmail and provide them the identity information who has logged in. The same set of credentials will be saved within the Google identity provider, and it will be turned into a session, and that session will be utilized to access the other applications by the user like Google Docs and Google Drive. So uh, that remediates or eliminates the credential re-authentication and help desk requests, thus improving the productivity. There are other different advantages of SSO, like we can streamline local and remote application and also the desktop workflow. We can minimize phishing, we can improve compliance through a centralized database, and we can provide detailed user access reporting, because if a user access app 1, app 2, any app, the data of the authentication will be stored within the identity provider. So that kind of audit data can be utilized to get the access user access report in a detailed format. So that's all from single sign-on site, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet in the next video.